Are you living from the AACI studios in downtown Tapio, Jerusalem? It's Louis Live! Now here's your host, me, Ari Louis. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the show. We have a jam-packed show filled with stars and celebrities. I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right to it. Our first guest of the evening is a former boxing champion. Let's listen to one of the highlights in his long 16-year career.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing here at the MGM Grand, here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Kamal Youssef scores at 114-113. Jerry Roth scores at 117-109. Jojo Guerra scores about 117-110. All three in favor of the winner and new champion, Jesse James Leha.
And of course, our guest, as mentioned there on the great YouTube clip, Jesse James Leha. Jesse James, welcome to Louis Live. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. It's not too often we have a boxing champion. I want to start with that fight there because a very impressive victory over Azuma Nelson. At the time, he was a 5-year champion, had that reign 5 years in the featherweight division. Obviously, every boxer going into the fight has to have a certain confidence that he's going to win, but was there some nerves facing a champion of Nelson's caliber?
Well, there's always some nerves, but, I had fought him, I think, 6 months prior to that in San Antonio. So we had that draw. Initially, we had that first draw. But, knowing that you fought him before and how tough he was, you get nervous fighting him the second time. And that was our second fight, and he always, he was always knocking people out in the second fight like he did Jeff Finnick and some other fighters. So I was really worried, but we prepared ourselves well, and we went in there fighting the best that we could.
Now, you have a great background. Not a lot of people know this because most boxers, when they begin as amateurs, they begin very young, sometimes 6, 7 years old, sometimes as teenagers. But your parents wanted you to wait to box after high school. Is that correct?
Well, they actually didn't want me boxing at all. My father was a fighter himself, and he didn't want us fighting. And at the age of 19, I decided that I wanted to try my hand at boxing. I got a little heavy, and I wanted to drop some weight. So, I started in my garage and hung up a heavy bag and was in there every day by myself working out. And then my dad saw that I was serious about it, and we went to the gym. And 2.5 years as an amateur, I made it to the 1988 Olympic trials, and I lost to the eventual Olympian, and then I turned pro afterwards. Wow,
that's an amazing story because I heard Joe Frazier got into boxing in a similar way. He wanted to lose some weight, and then became champion. Same with you, of course. And also, it's also, though, very rare to start boxing that late. I know Michael Grant started, he was 21. Did you look at that as a disadvantage, or did you say, hey, maybe I have some advantages here because I didn't learn something incorrectly, I didn't pick up some bad habits, I can kind of start fresh here at a more mature age of 19?
Well, that's true because I think when you're younger, I don't know. I think you haven't matured enough, and sometimes your brain doesn't mature enough, and you don't learn certain things. And I just don't. I'm against really young kids getting hit in the head a lot in football or in boxing or anything like that. I just think it takes something away, and I think maybe that's what. I don't know. Maybe that's where there's more head trauma. You think about it: a 6-year-old getting hit in the head for so many years, and then when he's 20 years old, he's not going to have much when he turns pro. I didn't start till I was 19. My son, who's 20 years old, started last year as a fighter, and he's in college as well. But, he's 5-0 right now as an amateur and doing well.
Wow, congratulations.
He started a year ago, and, we're doing well with it. But I just think a kid needs to grow up and mature enough, and I don't know, I just think, and decide he wants to do it at that age. Sometimes when they're young, the parents kind of throw them into it at first, or the fathers, and they have no choice but to box.
Perhaps others will follow in your example because you had a very successful 16-year career starting later. That might be more of a key. I'm not sure if everyone out there is going to listen, but certainly something to look at. Now, I want to go into your name because you're born James, but you took Jesse James in honor of your father. Is that correct?
yes, my father, my brother, and my grandfather were all Jessup. So
okay, so
I
it's
wanted to add that name. It sounds good, but it was really an honor of them.
right. It's not because of the admiring of a gunslinger type of thing. It was more because of a family name.
Yeah, exactly. Just because I wanted to. I mean, my manager thought it would sound good and it would be catchy, but I was doing it more for my father. But it worked out for both ways.
Now you're certainly known for.
It was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it was catchy and it sounded good, and people would remember just James from Texas as opposed to just a James from Texas.
Right, because your background, of course, Texas, and you fought your first couple of fights professionally in Texas. So that's a great point and a great relationship there. Now, you were known for being one of the more classier boxers that fought in your generation. You touched gloves not just at the beginning of the fight and before the 12th round, but before every round. Where did that classiness and good sportsmanship come from?
I just think it's my upbringing, and I know that boxing's just a sport. I mean, if the guy, I'm not saying I didn't do it for every round where I was in touch gloves with every guy, but I mean, if there was a mutual respect between both of us, we were going to do that. And sometimes there was the other guy doing it as well, and I would, I've always done that. It's not a gladiator where you fight to the death. It's a sport. It's not like in the Roman days, but it's still a sport, and we can't let people forget that it's a sport. It's not about I mean, the intent is to get hurt or to hurt your opponent, but not to kill him or to be mean or hate him. And that's not what it's about.
Well said, and I've spoken with Yuri Foreman and Dimitri Salita. They actually say that if you hate your opponent, it can somewhat be a disadvantage because it takes your focus in mind away, right?
Yeah, I mean, your mind, when you're up, you have to be calm inside the ring. You can't be upset. When you're upset and mad, nothing happens. It's just like if you're going to hit a baseball because you're so upset, you're going to strike out. You try to hit, punt the football as hard as you can. You're going to miss it or it's not going to go very far. You have to be in control and you have to be calm, and things work out better that way. Now,
is that one of the more tougher things to do in the sport is the controlled aggression? Because obviously it is a sport. It's an aggressive sport. It can be brutal and violent times. But like you mentioned, going in calm, that's the keys to success. So is that one of the tougher things is to get to that calm point?
And you know what? That's time. It's just time inside the ring to relax and to be calm and to see the punches coming, and you get to flow through everything much better. And if you're upset and angry, you won't see anything. You're going to get hit just as much as you're going to be hidden, and you're not going to have the same power or technique because you're angry. So I teach my kids and I teach my fighters, you got to be calm inside the ring and almost tranquil, where you see things coming and not really have to think. You just react.
See, I really like that because that's a good lesson, not just for sports, but I think for life as well, that whenever you get
that's
too...
Life. Exactly.
Right, we never get too angry.
That is life, too. I mean, you relax and go through life. Don't let life come at you. You go after it, and you stay mature, and you stay calm in rough situations, because if you panic in rough situations, it's going to get rougher.
Right.
And the same thing in fighting. You're going to get knocked down. Okay, get back up and keep going. In life, you get knocked down, you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going and go forward and go with a positive attitude.
Right, well said. I really like that a lot. And I want to go to some of the opponents you fought because you've been in the ring with simply the best. First, I want to start with Mickey Ward, and I find that fight interesting because you won that fight, and it was a little bit not your typical fight because I understand that there was an accidental headbutt after the 5th round. Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was an accidental headbutt, but the camera didn't catch it, so they were questioning it. But
right.
As soon as it happened, I mean, if you look at the replay, as soon as it happened, I looked up at the ref and I asked the ref, watch his head. And that's when the blood started trickling down and the ref stopped it. But they couldn't catch it on the replay, but they couldn't catch a punch either. So it was kind of a... So, after the first round, Mickey Ward was trying to make the cut worse, and I was trying to win the fight by landing him and throwing more punches and trying to do everything I could, because I knew that if the cut got worse, they could stop the fight. And Mickey was trying to make the cut worse, but it was a headbutt, so he really wasn't thinking out of things about what happens if they stop it because of a headbutt, and they stopped it and I was ahead on the card. So,
right.
And even after the fight, I said, you know what, the fight was just getting good. We should have a rematch. I don't care if I win or not, but, let's have a rematch. We weren't able to make it. I went on to fight Costa and he went on to fight Arturo Gatti, and
right.
everything came out okay for both of us.
Yeah, I would say so. Costa, obviously a great fighter, but so I find it interesting because Ward Gotti, that trilogy, one of the more famous trilogies in boxing history, and ended up being Ward's kind of last hurrah in the sport. But a big part why Ward was somewhat cautious early in that fight, especially the first fight, which in my opinion is the best of the three, was somewhat based on what happened in his fight with you. He didn't want to do headbutt Gotti, and also he wanted to start off somewhat early if it did happen, so he wouldn't get behind the guards. So you had an effect on one of the best trilogies in boxing history.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, we fought 4 times.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was talking about Gotti and Ward, that you had an effect on that. Yeah. Because,
yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you said I had also. Well, no, yes, you're right. Yeah, because if that didn't happen, there would not have been a Gotti Ward.
Right.
If the fight with me didn't happen, if it would have been a draw, or I think what happened, we had heard that Gotti's people kind of liked the fact that I was kind of handling Mickey Ward, and it felt safe for him to fight him. But, different fighters make different fights, different styles.
And throughout your career, and I did a lot of research here for this interview and watching your different fights, most of the time, and I haven't saw a fight yet where you were the bigger man, went in as a smaller man. Again, and I'm a short guy myself, so hey, I relate, James. I know what that's like, but is it
hard, just like I have?
Is it one of those things like, hey, you're not respecting my size, I'm going to make you respect my size, or is it one of those things where you can actually get advantages out of being the shorter man in there?
Well, I mean, my style of fighting was fighting in the inside, obviously not on the outside because we get picked apart. But so I had to condition myself, and I had to make sure that technique was going to be very important because I didn't have the reach, I didn't have the speed, I didn't have the power, but I had the will and I had the conditioning to and the smarts to out-maneuver these guys, to outwork them, and to out-hustle them, and have a better technique than them, and that pays off. I mean, all the guys, I look at the guys that I fought, Zuma Nelson, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, Shane Mosley. You learn a lot from fights like that. I beat Francisco Bojado, who was supposed to be the next Oscar de la Hoya, and even Ivan Robinson, who beat Arturo Gatti twice.
Right.
I beat him fairly easy. So, it just sounds like fights, but I didn't take into account that I was shorter than them. I just knew I had to work a little harder than the other guys.
Now, you mentioned some of your impressive wins, Ivan Robinson, and obviously, like you started the interview with Zuma Nelson. Of all your victories, what is, in your opinion, your most impressive victory?
I think one of the most impressive ones was with Louis Espinosa. Of course, you have to throw Zuma Nelson in the bit. I fought him 4 times, so the 2 times that I beat him was great. Even the draw that I had with him was incredible in front of 60,000 people. But I had a fight with Louis Espinosa that was a tough fight. It was my first real big fighter, former 2-time world champion, and a guy that can really punch very hard. And that was one of my good early on fights, as well as with Troy Dorsey as well.
I want to ask you about going into the ring with 60,000 people watching you. I mean, I get a little nervous if a couple hundred people are kind of looking at me funny.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't want to sound like a dumb question, but I have to ask, what is that like to be in front of 60,000 people? And it's not like your typical sporting event, like a baseball game where they're watching 25 to 30 people play. They're watching you and another guy the whole time for an hour. What is that like?
It's very hard to explain, but the closest I can explain is when you first walk out, if someone turned on like bass speakers and just the biggest amplifiers around and just turn them on and you feel all that vibration go through your body, that's kind of what it feels like when you're walking out and everyone's cheering for you and yelling for you and you just feel that vibration. It just goes through your body. It almost like kicks you back. It's so strong and then motivates you. But when you're in the ring, it's on and off. It's like a switch. Someone turning on the switch and turning off the switch. You hear the fans. You don't hear the fans. It's so quiet in there that all you hear is, the punches coming at you, or skipping punches, or the pounding of the leather against your body. You just hear those type of things, and then all of a sudden you hear the large crowd cheering, and it's incredible. It's like in the movies, like you watch some boxing movies, The Raging Bull or something, but it's like that. You hear it, and you don't hear it. It's so loud, and then you don't hear anything. It's so peaceful. It's crazy.
Now, some of my friends have been to boxing matches where they've sat in the first 4 to 5 rows, and they say they're so close they can feel the punches. From a boxer's,
Yeah.
That's what they say. It's almost like they're in the fight themselves. And from a boxer's perspective, you mentioned it being quiet. Are you able to ever hear the chatter among the fans in those first 4 or 5 rows?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of times when you can hear the announcers talking about, oh, he landed a good right hand, or we think he's hurt. I got hit one time that someone else said that they thought I was hurt, and I looked back like, no, I'm not. I looked back at the announcer like, I'm not hurt, not even close. But that type of stuff. But you hear them talking, and sometimes you hear them say good things about you, you hear them say bad things about you, but it only comes and goes right away. It's only when it's not very, something's not happening during the fight, because when it's really happening, you don't hear anything but the punches and the fun you.
You remind me of a Floyd Mayweather fight in 2005, I believe January 2005, where Jim Lampley, Floyd had such dominance over his opponent that Jim Lampley and Roy Jones were doing the announcing, and they just started talking about NFL picks, and Floyd looked over and answered their questions. So,
I remember that.
That's insane to be able to hear the announcers and then to kind of look back and question them. So that's good stuff right there. I wanted to talk about the boxing game in general, because the heavyweight division is such a mess. You have 2 brothers that have the 3 titles. They're not going to fight each other, so you won't have a unified division. And the more exciting fights, as they all have been pretty much throughout history, south of 160 pretty much. Is there a particular fighter that you like? Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan? Who's the guy that you like to watch right now?
Obviously, everyone likes to watch Manny Pacquiao, but one of my favorite fighters that I love to watch because of his style and his technique, and he does it. I think he's probably the best technician in boxing today. The best, he does everything right. He's a great fighter. Is Marquez. Juan Manny Marquez. He's probably the best technician of any fighter out there right now. There's also Jorge Linares, the guy that's from Japan that's now back in California. He's a great technician. Guys want to watch fights and learn from fights. Those are incredible fighters to learn from. Now, Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter. He's a southpaw. Southpaws hate fighting southpaws. The right-handed fighters hate fighting southpaws because everything's backwards to them.
Right.
And Manny's a great fighter, strong, but it's more his speed and power than his technique. Because you see him, he's off balance sometimes. He throws wild at times, but he's a great fighter. But he's just so strong that he makes up for it. He has strong legs. But I think the best fighter, pound for pound right now, technique-wise, not on the ratings or anything like that, but it's probably Juan Manny Marquez. And look what he did with Pacquiao. He fought him twice. The first one was a draw, and then there's so many people who believe that he won the second fight. A lot of fighters believe that.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I think now when they fight the third time, I think Manny's going to be too strong and too young for Marquez now.
You touched about something interesting that a lot of people will think that one boxer wins and the judges have the other way, and sometimes they're the only 3 guys in the whole arena that see the fight that way. We saw a pretty bad decision a few weeks ago in the Williams fight. Were you ever a part of a fight that you just thought, I can't believe the decision went that way, and you were just shocked that it happened that way?
Well, it was. I had been. It was my 15th fight. I fought this guy named Edwin Pee Wee Parker, and he was a southpaw. It was my 15th fight. It was my first main event in San Antonio. It was televised. And I think what happens is judges sometimes say, well, I'm not gonna play the hometown judge, so I'm gonna go the opposite way. And I fairly beat this guy pretty simple. Pretty easy. And it turned out to be a draw. And we couldn't believe it. We were like, wow. But that's what happens. Sometimes judges say, I'm not gonna be the guy that goes just for the hometown guy. I'm gonna go the opposite way and not show my colors or whatever it is. I don't know, but it turned out to be a draw, which is kind of funny at first. Kind
of the weird parts of the sport that you have 2 warriors go in and they fight their heart out for 12 rounds, and it's all up to 3 guys, and 3 guys sometimes are picked randomly, and they just see it a certain way, and it's kind of the way it goes. It's a weird situation.
Well, here's another one that I had. I fought Juan Lozcano in New Jersey, and I fought him after the fight. It was on Showtime. They had the online voting on Showtime. People had me winning 10-0 online. They had me winning online voting. People had me winning 10-0 on the fight, 10 rounds, and they gave him the fight.
Yeah, I've seen a few fights like that where your jaw drops. I would say, obviously, Holyfield Lewis, the heavyweight title, when that was a draw, that was a pretty bad one. As a fan watching a fight, have you ever seen some fights, or which fights have you seen where you go, wow, that's another bad decision out there?
I think there's been so many of them on them, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Or when Paul Williams beat Sergio Martinez the first time.
Right. That was also questionable.
That was terrible.
And
that was terrible.
Now, before we let you go, a couple last questions here. We talked about your more impressive victories. I want to ask, because, again, you've been in the ring against some of the best, De La Hoya, Sugar Shane Mosley, Mickey Ward, and Arturo Gatti as well, Ivan Robinson. Of all the fighters you fought, who do you think is the best fighter that you've ever fought?
Easily Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya, okay. And you fought him at his prime.
He's the only guy that really dominated me, and that was just his size and power. Any guy that beat me was just really too big and too strong for me. Shane Mosley, they gave me 3 weeks to fight him, and I had to drop 17 pounds in 3 weeks. I wish I would have had more time.
Wow.
Not saying I would have beaten him, but I would have gone the distance with him and done much better than what I did. I actually gave him a lot of trouble early on, but it was just, too much weight too soon and not enough time to get ready. But of the fighters that I wish I would have had again at my prime was Arturo Gatti. We tried fighting him at 130 pounds, 135 pounds, and they never would fight me. But they fought me at 140 when I was already 38 years old. I kind of had to work my way up and get a chance to fight him. And they did, but that was my last fight. I was already too old and too beat up by that time. Fighting 20 years total, and it was. But he's a great fighter. He changed his technique completely on me. He boxed a lot, but we expected him to slug, and he came out with a great game plan and boxed me.
Yeah, Gatti.
His reach and distance and size. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gatti kind of realized that all those wars took the toll on him, so when he went more to a boxer, it was a little easier for him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those things catch up to you, and miraculously that he was able to have as long as a career he did, considering that he fought that way for so many years. Matter of fact, even when he retired, people were saying that he was having double vision or he couldn't see well, that his hearing was going bad. That's what I hear. I can't prove any of that, but that's what people are saying.
Yeah, and it's obviously what happened to was a shame, but we still have the fond memories of him. Obviously, fought you in the Ward trilogy and the Ivan Robinson 2 fights, and he was certainly a very entertaining fighter, to say the least. Now, James, last question before I let you go. Tell the folks out there, because you're very active now in your life. What's a way they can kind of learn more about you? Go to your website, get involved with what you're doing. Tell the folks what you're doing right now in your life.
Well, I have a website that needs to be updated, obviously, but I have a boxing fitness gym in San Antonio, and I'm getting ready to open my second one with over 130 or 40 people. I have a Miracle League, which is a baseball league for special needs kids. We have over 200 kids that get to play baseball like anyone else. We had to build a special field for them that was over $1 million, so they can roll their wheelchairs and walkers and, just to be able to be a kid and to play baseball, whether they're mentally or physically handicapped. We let them play baseball.
Wow, that's touching to hear. That's just such a great charity, and all the power to you in doing that. It's really a wonderful thing. Well, I gotta tell you, you know what, Jesse James, we had you on for 27 minutes. It really wasn't long enough. I wish we had more time, but we have to put on another guest. We've got to do this again real soon. I hope you come back on the show another time.
Well, anytime you guys call me, I'll be happy to, and fill people in about the fight game and what's going on, and who I think are the best fighters, pound for pound, or anything you guys want to ask. You guys are great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Jesse James Lehigh, the former champion of the world. Thanks so much for being on Louis Live.
All right, thank you for having me, guys.
Be well. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, Shine after this. Are you having computer issues? You just got to try these guys. Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. All of Jerusalem is talking about them. They're super experienced, efficient, reliable, and honest. Their lead technician has over 20 years experience and holds a BS in computer science from a top American university. Mickey from Mojave says, I will let anybody touch my computers except for Tiger. So call Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. Believe me, you'll be happy that you did. Ruben from Baca says, I've had many technicians in the past, and these guys are some of the best I've seen. Laptops, desktops, netbooks, Macintoshes, iPods, iPhones. All hardware and software problems, advice, and instruction. The next time you need a very experienced and honest computer technician, call Tiger Computer Services at 050-708-1599. Mention Israel Sports Radio for a 15% discount for all new customers. Are you living in the Tel Aviv area and looking to achieve those fitness goals that seem out of reach? If so, personal trainer Leon Kessler is just one call away. Leon will teach, coach, advise, supervise, and support you so that you are able to accomplish your fitness goals. One call to 050-792-2434 will put your goals in reach. That's 050-792-2434, or click on the Leon Kessler banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and see what Leon can do for you.
Midreshet Devorah, a Dati Leumi post-high school program which educates minds and broadens horizons. Located in Baca, the lovely Jerusalem neighborhood provides an excellent background and setting for a tremendous education. Our students learn, love, and feel the land of Israel and get tools which will last them a lifetime. Generous scholarships are available. Please contact us at midreshetdevorah.org. Call us from Israel at 052-534-6260 or from North America at 718-593-4162. Midreshet Devorah, we're the program you've been waiting for.
DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJ Venom. DJing parties throughout Israel. Birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize a trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
Are you ready to get serious about your health and fitness? iFit trainers provide one-on-one personal training and put together the best fitness program to get the right results for you. Find your I in Fit. We offer certified personal trainers with elite athletic experience and flexible hours at the convenience of your own home. Classes are offered in English and in Hebrew. We serve Jerusalem and the surrounding areas. For more information and to schedule your first workout session, call Alyssa at 054-759-7280 or email Alyssa, ELISSA, at i-fit.co.il. Visit us at www.i-fit.co.il or click on the iFit banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage.
Feeling overwhelmed with all you have to do? Let your personal shopper help. Chani is an experienced gift shopper and can help free up your day. Connie can assist you in finding the perfect gift for your upcoming Simchas or pick up those light items at the grocery. And don't forget, if you are in the area of the Israel Center on Karen HaYesod, stop by on Monday or Tuesday between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to check out all the great gifts Connie has to offer. For more information, call 02-654-2155 or email Connie@netvision.net.il. Don't forget to check out her great website at www.chaniesgifts.com.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
All right, back here on Louis Live. We're having a little difficulty getting in touch with Shai Doron. She, of course, is quite busy, so hopefully we'll get her on a little bit later in the program. We're just going to speak for a few minutes here on some NFL topics. And it looks like my new man now, Kevin Kolb, is coming out to the desert. Apparently, that is wrapped up. I'm very, very excited about that. That's going to be good stuff. If Larry Fitzgerald could do that, that is definitely what we want. And of course, the Eagles are a little bit of a struggle because Deshaun Jackson, who was such a key component of their team last year, he had that great run in the game against the New York Giants. He is not happy on his contract. Of course, his base salary, $565,000, and in Deshaun's defense, I agree with him, not really fair at this point of his career. Now he's on the 4-year rookie deal, so apparently he wants a new agreement, and if he doesn't get a new agreement, he's not coming to camp. He's not there. Quarterback Michael Vick, in his first interview with the media after the lockout ended, talked about Jackson's status. He said, Deshaun just has some things to think about and some decisions to make that only himself can make. Andy Reid didn't seem concerned about it. And again, Kevin Kolb is expected to be traded to the Cardinals before this week is over. Not official, but most likely is going to happen. Vic said, I'm just being realistic about the situation. It's all in what Deshaun wants. So Vic's being a good teammate, saying the right things, because Jackson is obviously going to come back to the team. The Eagles are not going to have a season without Deshaun Jackson. They'll work something out, I'm sure, and probably get him at least to $1 million, in my opinion. Go to baseball real quick. Carlos Beltran. Now, Ari Bluestein predicted this correctly. He said he was going to the Giants. Now, he wanted him for the Phillies. Yeah, who doesn't want Carlos Beltran? But apparently, he's going to San Francisco, which is, you talk about defending World Series champions. They got no respect, especially from this talk show host. I did not think they would win the West. And here they are, first place, and they're going to have Carlos Beltran to boot. That'll help him in the playoffs. So, here we go. Again, now here's the deal. I mean, they got to stay out of this. New York, the Mets are going to get Zach Wheeler, who was 7.5 with a 3.99 ERA, for AAA. Excuse me, for Class A. Class A, 16 starts in San Jose. He was 7.5, 3.99 ERA. Hey, Sandy Alderson said, we're looking for a big upside. We could have gotten a package of 3 players from a number of clubs, but the overall potential of those players would not have equaled Zach's potential. That's a lot to risk. That's a lot to risk because you could have gotten some guys who could play for you right now. But, hey, the Mets are in a rebuilding mode, so what the heck. Beltran left Cincinnati on Wednesday, held out of the lineup by the Mets so he could travel to Philadelphia to join the Giants for their series finale against the Phillies. He's expected to bat third and play right field Thursday night. Sabian said he will be the everyday right fielder. Yeah. No duh. The 34-year-old Beltran can become a free agent after the season. He leads the National League with 30 doubles. He's batting .289 with 15 home runs, 66 RBI. So, again, they're not the team to beat the National League. It's still the Phillies. They're going to run away with the West. That's pretty obvious. And they'll be more of a danger against Philadelphia. So, that's the news there in Major League Baseball. Biggest trade, Carlos Beltran. It looks like the Mets are going to hold on to Jose Reyes, at least at this point. Dolphins made some news in the free agent market. They get Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush thought he was all done in New Orleans after New Orleans drafted Mark Ingram in the first round, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Mark Ingram is now playing for the Saints. The former Heisman Trophy winner, Reggie Bush, is now not playing with the Saints. He's a former Saint. Dolphins finalized a trade for Bush on Thursday. I'm negotiating a new 2-year contract for $10 million. Wow. Good for him, because some people thought he might be done. Not done, but kind of more of a third down type of back. Certainly hasn't lived up to the hype as considered one of the greatest college running backs of all time. Now, Bush was due $11.8 million this season. Obviously, the Saints didn't want to pay him that, and they make the trade. Here's what Bush said on his Twitter account: to the city of New Orleans, you will always have a place in my heart. I love you guys. You're my family. I will never forget our good times. I wish the New Orleans Saints the best of luck. I will always be a fan. The team, coaches, and fans will deeply be missed. So, there you go. There you go. So Reggie Bush is on the Miami Dolphins at this point. Wow. Again, remember, he signed a 6-year, $62 million deal. He was the number 2 pick in the 2006 draft behind Mario Williams. Last season, he missed 8 games. So used as a role player, 36 carries for 150 yards and just 34 receptions for 208 yards. But hey, the Dolphins want him, so they got him. Kokomo to Miami. Kokomo to Miami. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll try to get Shy on. We'll be back after this.
Are you having computer issues? You just got to try these guys. Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. All of Jerusalem is talking about them. They're super experienced, efficient, reliable, and honest. Their lead technician has over 20 years experience and holds a BS in computer science from a top American university. Mickey from Macavia says, I won't let anybody touch my computers except for Tiger. So call Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. Believe me, you'll be happy that you did. Ruben from Baca says, I've had many technicians in the past, and these guys are some of the best I've seen. Laptops, desktops, netbooks, Macintoshes, iPods, iPhones. All hardware and software problems, advice, and instruction. The next time you need a very experienced and honest computer technician, call Tiger Computer Services at 050-708-1599. Mention Israel Sports Radio for a 15% discount for all new customers. Are you living in the Tel Aviv area and looking to achieve those fitness goals that seem out of reach? If so, personal trainer Leon Kessler is just one call away. Leon will teach, coach, advise, supervise, and support you so that you are able to accomplish your fitness goals. One call to 050-792-2434 will put your goals in reach. That's 050-792-2434, or click on the Leon Kessler banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and see what Leon can do for you.
Idreshet Devora, a Dati Leumi post-high school program which educates minds and broadens horizons. Located in Baca, the lovely Jerusalem neighborhood provides an excellent background and setting for a tremendous education. Our students learn, love, and feel the land of Israel and get tools which will last them a lifetime. Generous scholarships are available. Please contact us at idreshetdevora.org. Call us from Israel at 052-534-6260 or from North America at 718-593-4162. Idreshet Devora, we're the program you've been waiting for.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
Okay, we're back here on Lewis Live. Still no luck with Shai Doron. We'll try to get her on next week. We have the great Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner coming on in 15 minutes. So let's wrap around the NFL. Okay, apparently this is live right now. The Eagles are going to send quarterback Kevin Kolb to Arizona for Dominique Rogers-Cremante, and a draft pick. Okay. All right, so again, we said that he'd be out of here before the week's over. Looks like he's out of here before the day is over. So that's good stuff for my Cardinals. Again, Kevin plus Larry Fitz will be an NFC West division title. So very, very happy about that. Great news there for us Cardinal fans, and we certainly can use some good news. There's just no doubt about that. Okay, let's stick with the NFL. Albert Hainsworth apparently is going to the Patriots. Now, the Patriots are pretty good at resurrecting careers. Look what they did with Randy Moss when he had that disastrous year in Oakland. Apparently, he's going to get another chance and go to New England. So, here we go. Now, it's only going to cost New England a 5th-round draft pick to the Redskins in 2013. It's not even next year. It's the year after that. So, remember, this is the man that signed a 7-year, $100 million deal. And, again, he only had 6 sacks over 20 games, his last 20 games. Routinely out of shape, and he just was not able to get it done. He had a feud with Mike Shanahan. We'll see how Belichick is going to handle that. Remember, Patriots went 14-2 last year. I would say their weakness is more their running game, but what the heck? Like I said, it worked for Randy Moss. This could work for Mr. Hainsworth. So, again, he's 30 years old. So, all the talent in the world. I mean, all the talent in the world. Defensive coordinator Jim Haslett said he could do almost anything he wants. He doesn't want to do anything. To me, that's the issue. He's one of those guys you walk into a meeting, you tell him, put down the phone. The next day you have to tell him to put down the phone. The next day you tell him to put down the phone. It's an everyday thing. Look, maybe, Hainsworth definitely has something to prove. Maybe that will spark him to do well with New England. I don't think Belichick is going to have to tell Albert Hainsworth 3 times to put down the phone. Believe me, he'll put down the phone. He does some. He doesn't need to be told 3 times by Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick will use mind games and scare the crud out of him. So we'll see how Albert does in New England. Eagles sign Babin for 5 years. Used to play, of course, Jason Babin used to play with the Tennessee Titans. Eagles give him a 5-year, $28 million deal. Pro Bowl defensive end in a breakout season that was under defensive coach Washburn in Tennessee last year. He was a big part of the process. Babin told the Associated Press on Thursday, of course referring to his coach, what he did for me was twofold. He believed in me, he gave me an opportunity to play, and he allowed me to play the way I wanted. He saw the potential in me. So, again, Babin played for the Eagles in 2009. He had 2.5 sacks in 12 games. And then he signed with the Titans in free agency and had 12.5 sacks. So, the Eagles, again, they're going to lose their quarterback, but they're getting Jason in. Deshaun Jackson has a report from Cam. I'm sure he will. And remember, this is a team that won the NFC East last year. So, adding a Pro Bowl defensive end is just more power to Philadelphia. Okay, it looks like, according to the AP, the Vikings are going to get Donovan McNabb. We talked about this a couple days ago on the program. Now there's a different scenarios of what could happen here. So it looks like now this is already official, but the Vikings acquired McNabb for Washington for a 6th-round draft pick in 2012 and a conditional 6th-rounder in 2013. Now, McNabb had to agree to restructure the 5-year, $78 million deal with the Redskins because the Vikings obviously don't have that type of cap room. Now, right now, details are not here of what the money is. Well, ask Jim Williams if he knows what the money is on that. But there you go. McNabb will now play in Minnesota. So, good stuff already in the NFL wheelings and dealings. We see a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so we talked about that. Now, Tebow and Kyle Orton, they're going to battle for the starting job for the Denver Broncos. And I think it should go to Tebow, in my opinion, but we're going to find out what's going to happen. The Steelers cut Randall L. I'm actually shocked by that. Randall L., big part of the Steelers Super Bowl 40 victory. He was on the 43 team as well. And they also cut Max Starks. again, there's someone was going to be cut because the Steelers were $10 million over the $120.4 million salary cap. Now, if you remember, Randall L. is the one who threw the touchdown pass to Hines Ward, not Big Ben Roethlisberger in Super Bowl 40. That was when Big Ben had that awful quarterback rating in that awful game. I believe a rating of 23 or 24 or something like that. He had that touchdown on that sneak at the goal line, but he wasn't really in. He admitted later on, David Letterman. So he didn't even throw a touchdown pass and really didn't score a touchdown in the game. It was credit for that. That was the awful rough job in 2006 against the Seattle Seahawks, which our good friend Big Ben still complains about. He got, of course, a good contract with the Redskins and came back to Pittsburgh in 2010. So I need to re-say what I said. He was not on the Super Bowl 43 team. He was on the Super Bowl 40 team. Starks was drafted by the Steelers. The other man the Steelers cut in the third round, 75th overall. Started 68 games in his 7 years in Pittsburgh, including 7 in 2010 before being placed on injured reserve with a neck problem. So kind of only a matter of time. Right now the Steelers have 36-year-old Flozla Adams on the roster, but he's got $5 million coming to him. He's probably going to be cut. So it's one of those times where trading and signing and the cuts also happen as well. Probably the man who will replace Starks, Jonathan Scott. And they're going to try to sign Willie Cullen. Now, he missed last year with an injury, but they're going to try to get him back this year. And out of Buffalo, Florence is back. Drayton Florence, of course, cornerback, he is coming back and tweeted, "It's official, I'm back in Buffalo. See ya at Fisher." And referred to St. John Fisher College, the Bills training camp facility. So the Bills get him back. Bills didn't have the best season last year, obviously, but Florence is a big part of any potential success they may have. He's an 8-year NFL veteran. He had 58 tackles last year and 16 starts, no interceptions, but the 58 tackles ended up being the most dependable quarterback on the ball club. So, again, at this point, the Bills have Terrence McGee coming back, Leonis McKelvin, and the Bills got Aaron Williams in the draft out of Texas. So they'll probably get signed Michael. They signed Michael Jasper as well. So the Bills trying to just to go to a different place than they have in a long, long time. Really, since with Doug Flutie, they had something going. After Doug Flutie left, really it's been downhill for Buffalo, pretty much. Okay, so we talked some NFL wheeling and dealings. We're going to talk Major League Baseball. Carlos Beltran to the Giants. Indians acquire Fukumo from the Cubs. Jeter apparently said he did the HBO film about the 3,000 hits for his future kids. And kind of want to talk about that because Jeter, Derek Jeter's did some interesting stuff in his career and his public life, his personal life. He allowed the cameras to have the 3,000 hits. And he's talked about that. He wanted to have kids as a player so that, to watch him play, but that's not going to happen at this point. He's 37 years old. Generally, he's private, but he did an interview, and again, it let the cameras follow him on his ride to 3,000 hits. Jeter had control over what was shot, but he did not see the documentary until after it was completed. There are no tears or tantrums from a player renowned for avoiding controversy. Noting with a grin that it's an HBO program, Jeter does curse once or twice. That's something I'd love to see. I've never heard of Derek Jeter curse it. That'd be pretty interesting stuff right there. The footage includes shots of Jeter hosting friends for a lunch cooked by his personal chef when they discuss why all the stars of The Bachelor are white. That's interesting. Jeter did a 2-hour interview in his New York apartment a day after he reached 3,000 hits with a home run as part of a 5-for-5 day against the Rays on July 9th. Also agreeing to an interview is his actress girlfriend, Minka Kelly, who suddened up the timing of the calf injury by saying, quote, "It sucked." Of the delay in reaching the milestone, Jeter says, "I felt like I was disappointing people." That's just dreamy right there. The Derek was concerned about disappointing others. He concedes that selfishly he wishes his mother and sister could have been there when he hit number 3,000. They missed the game because of his nephew's christening. Well, priorities, people. Priorities. 3,000 hits. That only happens once in about 5 years. I'm kind of teasing. I'm not trying to make fun of their decision. I mean, they have a right to choose what they want to want to choose. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, from the Washington Insider, Jim Williams, after this.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize a trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
Are you ready to get serious about your health and fitness? iFit trainers provide one-on-one personal training and put together the best fitness program to get the right results for you. Find your I in fit. We offer certified personal trainers with elite athletic experience and flexible hours at the convenience of your own home. Classes are offered in English and in Hebrew. We serve Jerusalem and the surrounding areas. For more information and to schedule your first workout session, call Alyssa at 054-759-7280 or email Alyssa, ELISSA, at i-fit.co.il. Visit us at www.i-fit.co.il or click on the iFit banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage.
Feeling overwhelmed with all you have to do? Let your personal shopper help. Connie is an experienced gift shopper and can help free up your day. Connie can assist you in finding the perfect gift for your upcoming simchas or pick up those light items at the grocery. And don't forget, if you are in the area of the Israel Center on Karen HaYesod, stop by on Monday or Tuesday between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to check out all the great gifts Connie has to offer. For more information, call 02-654-2155 or email Connie at netvision.net.il. Don't forget to check out her great website at www.conniesgifts.com.
Israel Sports Dynamic specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
All right, back here on Louis Live, and our tradition is every Thursday at 11 p.m. we introduce from the Washington Examiner, talk a little business side of sports, Jim Williams. Jim, how you doing today?
I'm well. I hope you all are well as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we're well because the NFL lockout is finally over. I heard everyone in America, I think, sing the following song. I think it was.
Happy, joy, joy,
so
happy,
they were pretty happy about all that.
That's Simmentov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simmentov. Both of those.
Absolutely, because we didn't want to go a whole year without football. I don't think most Americans were going to be able to handle it so well. But hey, thank God it's over. So as far as the finale, I've asked some of our other guests in the previous week, as far as the winner of the loser. The owners get 53% of the revenue. The cap is about $120 million. There's a cap on rookies. Do you think the players got anything for their benefit?
I think that basically the trademark of a good deal is both sides get something, and I think this was a good deal for both sides. I think that at the end of the day, the players got some of what they wanted, the owners got some of what they wanted, and nobody got everything they wanted, but it was fair, it was equitable, and it's a 10-year deal. It's probably worth somewhere in the neighborhood of about 115 to 125 billion dollars.
Wow.
And so, at the end of the day, I think that what it is going to allow the NFL to do now, and players to do now, is have a generation of football that is played pretty much without any labor issues to deal with, and it'll set the next CBA up for a really good opportunity to go to school on what has been done, via new media and all the other wonderful things that will be coming down the line. But I don't think there really was a winner or a loser here, Ari. I think that at the end of the day, both sides got what they needed, and I think that it's a very fair agreement. And I say that in speaking to Dee Smith, who's the head of the Players Union. Dee was very pleased with it. Roger Goodell was very pleased with it. When you got the two guys who negotiated the deal pleased with it, then everybody should be happy.
And the best part of the deal, at least from a fan's perspective, is that it is 10 years, so we won't have to deal with this for a long time, which is good stuff. I wanted to ask, do you think there's a team out there that, I want to say, not got an advantage out of lockout, but maybe less of a disadvantage because they kind of hung together, they practiced together in their own way on private time, and that maybe is a team that we should look for in the coming season to do well?
To be honest with you, Ari, I think it's good that the teams did some bonding over the summer, but in the spring. But really, unless you really are out on the field playing on these 7-on-7 drills when you're having a chance to look at the tape after you've done things, it's really nice from a camaraderie standpoint. But you really get there's no reps that you do on a high school football field or a college football field that's going to help you. At the absolute most that it can do is help you stay a little bit in close to playing shape. But no, I don't think anybody has an advantage because of that. I think if there is an advantage, I think it has to do with, and especially this year, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see that the organizations that have the best coaching, the best general managers, the top people, in essence, the Krafts of New England, the Steelers, the usual suspects, as they say, they're going to benefit from this because everything has been shortened. So practice starts, will continue to start. They started yesterday. It starts today for some teams. It'll start tomorrow for others. And you really have a very condensed situation. You're going to have general managers who have to sign people quickly and get them in camp. There are 500 free agents. With those 500 free agents, the key now is to try to get something that players in camp that will be able to be worked in. It's going to be very difficult for a team that's starting with a new quarterback to really gel and to make it. So as I say, I think the winners here are the people who have the strong franchises who are already set going into the season and just needed to tweak a little bit. I don't know that you're going to see a lot of movement from people who are not set up to do it, because normally you would have some time to get people in camp, go over the different rosters, go over your playbooks, and go through all these training sessions. So what they miss is, you missed basically 5 different sessions where, rookies and new free agents would be able to get into your system. That's not going to happen. You're going to have people looking at a book, a 700-page playbook, for the first time this morning, and having to figure out how do we work this out.
Now, you talked about some of these teams that might not necessarily make some moves, that they're kind of well established, but the team in your neck of the woods that struggled a little bit last year, the Redskins, made 2 moves already. They sent Dominic McNabb to the Vikings, and they cut Albert Haynesworth, they traded him to the New England Patriots. So talk about that. The Patriots take a flyer. They don't have to give up that much to get him. Can Albert turn this around under Coach Bill Belichick?
No. I honestly, Albert is a guy who I honestly think might be the biggest challenge for Bill Belichick.
Wow.
Albert was absolutely would not, under any circumstances, attempt to even try to do stuff that Jim Haslett wanted him to do, the defensive coordinator for the Redskins. He was adamant about not doing it. He didn't practice, and it got to be a point to which that he became toxic. And so what happened in Washington, as I said in the commentary this morning, was that for all intents and purposes, they shed the two albatrosses that had them, weighed down last year. And that is Donovan McNabb and Albert. And Albert, as I said, wouldn't play. Now, will he be energized to play under Belichick? If anybody can get him to play, Bill is the guy who can get him to play. Donovan is, look, I think Donovan's one of the nicest guys on the planet, but Donovan is a bit of a whiner and a bit of a drama queen. Right. And so, when he basically wouldn't listen to what Kyle Shanahan told him to do, and Kyle benched him, Donovan got upset. And so he suddenly, shrunk back into a situation where he didn't want to play. And, Kyle's like, look, we're not going anywhere anyway, so we might as well try some of these other guys out. So I think from the Redskins' perspective, you're starting to see that they're saying, fine, you know what, we really need to get good players in here, get depth in here, and most of all, people who actually want to play here. And so I think that was the move there. Some of the other moves there were very interesting. I think Joe Flacco for the Ravens has taken a very vocal lead. He wants to prove that he's a franchise-type quarterback. I think that in Detroit could very well have a very good season up there if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. I think the Patriots, as we said before, because of the fact that they're already pretty much, set on how to do things, or adding Albert, if Albert helps them, I think that would be a big advantage. So the teams that are taking a flyer, as we talked today, the very good possibility that Kevin Cobb is going to be going from Philadelphia to Arizona. I don't see that Kevin Cobb going to Arizona is going to turn things around in Arizona that quick. That said, if Kevin Cobb had come to Arizona and this had been a normal year, then I would say they could, because of the lack of talent in that division, they could very well be a contender, and may still be. But right. It's you can't expect Kevin Cobb, if he does get there, to get into that playbook that fast. Right.
So there's a situation where the lockout hampers a team because he's going to a new team. But like you mentioned, it's a bad division. Seattle won it last year, 7-9. So hey, I'm a Cardinals fan, so hopefully it works out. And Larry Fitz will finally.
Well, yeah, I know, and I think that the deal with Kevin Cobb, they're trying to finish it. If they can finish it, it ends up that Kevin's going to get a 5-year deal. He's going to get $30 million of guaranteed money.
Wow. All right, so he'll be pretty happy out in the desert, and hopefully Larry too, because no one was throwing in the ball last year. He still had 80 catches. I want to ask you, because Donovan going to Minnesota, this is a team a few years ago made it to the NFC title game. You're still going to have Adrian Peterson in the background. Donovan McNabb, like you mentioned, is a bit of a drama queen. He's also a very sensitive guy, does not like to be criticized by anyone, especially the media. Will he have a bit of chip on his shoulder, go to Minnesota and do a good job, or is he all done as a quarterback in the National Football League?
One of the things, Ari, that in watching Donovan is Donovan's problem, and it's been a Donovan problem for a few years now, is that when Donovan throws a deep ball, it sometimes, I'd say 80% of the time, hangs. And that's problems. I mean, he's not the gunslinger type guy that Brett Favre was. I mean, Brett would, was fearless and would throw the ball into double coverage, and he had the zing on the ball to be able to do that. That is not Donovan's forte. Donovan is a West Coast offense kind of guy. He's at his best when he's throwing passes in the 10 to 15 yard, variety. if Percy Harvin can come back and play well, if they can, craft some receivers in there that play more to, an offense that is more West Coast style, more Andy Reid style, then perhaps Donovan can help them. They're not a bad football team. Minnesota is a good football team. I think that Donovan could help them, do well. Could he help them beat Green Bay in that division? I doubt it. I like what Detroit, as I said before, has done. If they can keep Matthew Stafford upright for the rest of the season, I think Detroit and Green Bay are ahead of Minnesota in that division.
Now, a couple other moves that are going on in the National Football League, like you mentioned, they're working out the deal with Kevin Kolb out in Arizona. And one of the things I find interesting is this idea of the Dolphins getting Reggie Bush, because we kind of knew Bush was done in New Orleans after they drafted Mark Ingram. The Dolphins take a flyer on him. Bush was disappointing last year. Are the Dolphins thinking, hey, there's something something we can tap into his talent? But I still think they're believing in the hype of Reggie coming out of USC, and I think it's just one of those situations where he's just not that good. We thought he was going to be great out of USC, but he's just not. Are the Dolphins going to try to did they see something that I don't see, I guess, at this point?
Well, one of the things, Ari, is that I honestly don't think people realize how small Reggie Bush is. He's not a durable, big back type guy. And I think what you're looking at in Reggie is a very quick guy, and that whole Pete Carroll offense was a very quick offense at USC, and it was an offense that could use Reggie basically in a number of different formats. So what I think that you're going to see Reggie doing a lot of, as you know, down in Miami, they've been relatively, they might be the only team that's been relatively successful using some sort of, hybrid portion of the Wildcat offense. I think what they're trying to do is say, look, we have schemes by which we think Reggie can fit in here, and with the speed he's got and the God-given talent that he has, if things, if we can just get him to, in the right circumstance, in the right situation, Reggie could be very helpful to them. And at the amount of money they're paying for him, they've got a very good chance. It's a very low risk, high reward type situation. So I think it's situational because they have the Wildcat. They run the Wildcat down there. They like to do it. I think under those circumstances, if Reggie's put in the right position, he's certainly capable of making plays. So I think they realize that look, we can plunk some cash down here. It is a low risk, high reward possibility.
Now, going over to the sport of baseball, I touched on this in the previous segment. Carlos Beltran's going to the Giants. So the Giants, the defending World Series champions, not a lot of people picked them to repeat. Here they are, first place in the West. They pick Carlos Beltran. Where do you think that puts them in the whole scheme of the National League?
Well, I've always thought, frankly, that the Giants certainly were worthy of consideration for repeating. I thought they still have a solid pitching staff. With picking up Beltran, it certainly helps them in scoring and getting more offensive. I still believe before this coming Sunday at 4:00 Eastern Time in the United States with the trade deadline, I do believe that they'll make a move for a catcher. They definitely need a catcher. And perhaps another bat. If that doesn't work, then perhaps through the waiver wire, they'll pick somebody up after this weekend. But I think San Francisco is a solid baseball team. I think they absolutely want to win and have the skill and the abilities to win. I think that part of the problem that faces the Phillies is they still don't, they've got plenty of starting pitching. The relief situation is not as settled there, and they also, like San Francisco, would have liked to have gotten Carlos Beltran, but there was no way the Mets were going to let that happen.
Right. Having to face them in the division, was going to have them out there for years to come. Going now to the NBA, someone that is not currently playing, I want to get your thoughts about this. Perhaps you know him in person, but Jalen Rose, I could not believe the story. A few hours after he was sentenced to 3 weeks in jail for drunken driving, he speeds again, 46 miles in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. How is that possible? Basically, Jim, is what I'm going to ask you.
I'm sure that the University of Michigan education is not at full force in that regard. Look, Jalen's a troubled young man, and it's an unfortunate situation. He is a guy who, at this point in time, has doesn't know exactly what his future is, and if he continues to do the silliness that he's doing right now, his future will be somewhat clouded as to whether or not he's going to be back in the NBA. I do want to take a second, and last week we had a talk about Kobe Bryant. I had misspoken. Well, Kobe's demands were for $1 million a month. I think I said $1 million a game. So that was on me. I apologize for that. Let me set the record straight. It's $1 million a month is what Kobe wants, and if Kobe gets $1 million a month, and I understand that they're getting closer to getting that done.
Wow.
Then he could very well play in Turkey.
And that was my next question. These players going overseas. Now, apparently, Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony are going to look to playing in China. So,
there was the Chinese government. The Chinese government is willing to pay a number of players from the NBA to come over, and to play, and they've got sponsorships, and money is not really an object here. So it is possible that players like Chris and Carmelo, and I actually saw Carmelo about a week and a half ago, and I think that just before they left for China, and he said his agent told him, let's go, let's take a look. And they went over, they took, evidently they've enjoyed what they've seen over there. I talked to Kevin Durant a couple of days ago, and Kevin was, pondering whether or not Europe or China was the way to go. But there's definitely money both in Europe and in China for NBA players, and I think they realize that, that their CBA situation and the lockout situation is in no way near the same situation that the NFL is, and that they could be looking at one of those truncated lockouts that took them down to a 50-game season and perhaps even could wipe the season away. I know that neither side wants that to happen, and I know that they'll work hard to make it not happen, but all of these players now realize that there's money for them in other parts of the world, and I think that they're certainly entertaining these considerations because if you think about it, it's somewhat like barnstorming. You're going to go, you get paid a significant amount of money, and you're going to have fun playing basketball.
Right, and I talked about this on some earlier programs that you could have a situation of a cult following. Someone goes to, let's say like Deron Williams goes to Turkey, and he is the man there. Instead of being maybe the 15th or 20th best player in the NBA, he's the man in a certain area. And these guys, both Anthony and Paul, were on the U.S. team when the U.S. won gold in Beijing. So there's a relationship there. I'm going to throw this question at you. Let's say even if they make less money, is it possible the NBA gets their act together, let's say in December, and some of these players say, you know what, I don't think I'm going back. I like it here. They like me. I like them. I'm a big fish in a small pond, even though obviously Asia is a huge place, but I'm trying to say, any chance these players say I'm not coming back?
Well, I think there's always a chance. I believe, however, that they're contractually obligated. So if Chris Paul would, for instance, would say, I'm not going back to play in New Orleans this year, he would forfeit whatever money he had on that contract, that long-term money, and which all in the NBA, of course, is all guaranteed. So some of these guys would be leaving $40-50 million on the table. If, on the other hand, you're at the lower end of the pecking order and you're taking a flyer on this, and you're making a couple of $1 million, and the team says, I'm sorry, you say, I'm sorry, I'm not going back, you may be able to make money on that deal. And that's why I think so many college players from the United States who were not drafted, sought refuge, if you will, overseas, and are finding it to be a very profitable, very good, and very wise move.
And, again, like I said, the dominoes are going to keep coming, especially if Kobe Bryant's playing in Turkey. I think it's just going to continue. More and more players going to go to play overseas. Now, last couple questions here. I want to ask you some boxing questions. This, of course, is Andy's favorite sport, so I'm just joking. Andy leaves the boxing to me, but we have a situation in boxing right now, and I want to get your business expertise about this, especially from endorsement perspective, where the two heavyweight champions are brothers, but they're not going to fight each other, and their English is not so good. And I'll just say,
you're talking about the Klitschko brothers.
The Klitschko brothers, right? And I'll just kind of call a spade a spade. They're not the easiest people to look at, and that's part of commercials. And let's just face it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's the way it is. If you go to the lower weight classes, we had Amir Khan get a very impressive victory, 5th round over Zab Judah. And I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I just want to throw this out there because Amir Khan is one of the more prominent Muslim boxers since Muhammad Ali. Are we in a society where that could hurt his endorsements or potentially help his endorsements? Again, Ali isn't that iconic figure partly because of his religion. So what are your thoughts about Amir Khan moving forward in his career? Not just at boxing, but in endorsement level as well.
Well, let me take this 2 steps. The analogy to Ali is not necessarily a fair one in so much as this case. Muhammad Ali didn't make a lot of money off of endorsements. Okay. Ali's situation was such that when he accepted the Muslim religion as his religion and changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, it was in the middle of the Vietnam War. There was a lot of pushback for him. As we all know, he was stripped of his title, and so endorsements didn't go flowing into Muhammad's
right.
Camp in that regard. I think that now there is an undercurrent, and it's an uncomfortable undercurrent that I don't know whether or not a Muslim in the present political climate could get endorsements. Now, do I think that's fair? No, I don't. But it is, unfortunately, a situation where you've got an incredibly conservative, and I'm talking now about the United States aspect of it, a very conservative group of people in the United States who are very sensitive about situations like this, and I'm not sure that advertisers would flock endorsement-wise. Now, would it be good business from a promotional standpoint to have fights and for Amir to move forward as things got better? I believe it would. I think that it would open up an entirely new area to Muslim fighters, and I think that's a wonderful opportunity. And I mean, I think this is in many ways what has happened in the Hispanic community. It's what's happened in a number of other communities. I mean, the Eastern European bloc, that's where the Klitschko's came from. So,
right.
I mean, if you look at from an ethnicity standpoint, I think that you're going to get a lot of, you're going to energize a large base of fans by having Amir, move on further and further as his career, moves down the road to, multiple championships and other possibilities.
All right, Jim, last question before we let you go. Got to talk some Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, he gets out of the top 20 ranking first time in a very, very long time, but it's all over the news that he makes this beautiful practice facility in a $55 million house in Florida. So, again, trying to analyze psychologically, is it just one of these things where I've kind of checked out, I'm just going to relax in my house and play golf, or is it more determined, I made the best practice facility money can buy, I'm going to get back to my number one ranking?
Well, to be honest with you, I think that there's a lot of elements here. One in play. One is that Tiger must first get physically ready. I mean, I saw Tiger, I don't know, it's been about maybe it's been 2 months ago. I can't exactly remember. It's been just before his Philadelphia, it was between the Philadelphia, right after the U.S. Open, which he didn't go to, but he went to Philly for his tournament, which is actually in Washington, but was on loan to Philly because of the U.S. Open being played at the course that he uses at Congressional. Anyway, long story short, he's walking with a limp. He is physically not capable of playing. I would like to see Tiger come out and say, I'm taking the year off. I'm going to go and get, if my knee needs scoped or if I need surgery, I'm going to go and get it done. And I'm going to dedicate time to rehabilitation and really working at getting my stamina and my strength back so that I can be the best golfer that I can be. Right now, because he's not addressing what possibly could be something that needs an operation, he's basically resting and trying to play and rest, at the same time. And then he's playing, instead of playing specific tournaments, he's playing majors. And, when you're even on, as we all know, when you play a major, you're playing the best courses against the best players under the best conditions. And it's difficult to lay off 3 or 4 months and then come back to a major and win it. I mean, even if you're Tiger Woods. So what I guess I would like to see is Tiger begin to rehabilitate, and if he's going to be a dominant golfer again, he's got to be a healthy golfer. And right now, he's not a healthy golfer. And so, the purchase of this property and this wonderful practice facility, I'm sure will help him. Tiger's not an old guy, but he's also, people usually don't get better as they get older, and we'll have to see how this all works. Plus, there's an entire generation of golfers who aren't afraid of him anymore.
Right.
I mean, Tiger is an iconic name to them, but he's irrelevant. They played him and they beat him.
Right, a big part of Tiger's
so
dominance.
So he lost that fear factor, and the fear factor was a very big part of Tiger's ambience and his essence. And if you, you would see golfers literally just melt on the course when they were, on a final day. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But I do believe Tiger's going to have to get better, particularly before he can get better on the golf course.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Obviously, that was a big part of his dominance, that people were afraid of him. Kind of had an invincibility factor, like Mike Tyson during his first heavyweight reign, that just people lost before they step on the course because, hey, this is Tiger Woods, and they're playing against him. Well, Jim, great stuff as always. Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner. We appreciate you coming on Louis Live tonight and today where you are, of course, and always good stuff. And look forward to next week as well.
I look forward to it as well, and by that time we'll have a better idea what the Cardinals roster is going to look like.
Yes, amen to that. Hopefully get back to the playoffs.
No, I wish them well. We'll see how it looks. But, it's always a pleasure, Ari, and I wish everyone a very happy and a very good Shabbos and a wonderful weekend.
Well, thanks so much, Jim. Shabbat Shalom to you as well. We'll definitely be in touch.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It was Jim Williams from the Washington Examiner, and hey, I'm a Cardinals fan. I can use all the good looks I can get and all the support I can get. Come on. It's not easy being a Cardinals fan. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, ABC's Adam Bagney after this.
Offering the best of Israel at the best price, Shalom Israel Tours can help you make your next trip to Israel the adventure of a lifetime. Shalom Israel Tours will customize the trip to Israel for your family or group. Specializing in bar mitzvah packages, outdoor adventure vacations, wine tours, and more, Shalom Israel Tours is sure to inspire. So whether you're looking for a customized trip, a day tour, or a car rental, Shalom Israel Tours is here to help. Email us at inspire@shalomisraeltours.com or click the banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage, and soon you will find yourself in Israel. That's Shalom Israel Tours, www.shalomisraeltours.com.
Are you ready to get serious about your health and fitness? iFit trainers provide one-on-one personal training and put together the best fitness program to get the right results for you. Find your I in FIT. We offer certified personal trainers with elite athletic experience and flexible hours at the convenience of your own home. Classes are offered in English and in Hebrew. We serve Jerusalem and the surrounding areas. For more information and to schedule your first workout session, call Alyssa at 054-759-7280 or email Alyssa, ELISSA, at i-fit.co.il. Visit us at www.i-fit.co.il or click on the iFit banner on the Israel Sports Radio homepage.
Feeling overwhelmed with all you have to do? Let your personal shopper help. Connie is an experienced gift shopper and can help free up your day. Connie can assist you in finding the perfect gift for your upcoming simchas or pick up those light items at the grocery. And don't forget, if you are in the area of the Israel Center on Karen HaYesod, stop by on Monday or Tuesday between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to check out all the great gifts Connie has to offer. For more information, call 02-654-2155 or email connie@netvision.net.il. Don't forget to check out her great website at www.conniesgifts.com.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248 or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
All right, we're back here on Louis Live, and our next guest is our college football expert. It's always a privilege to have him on. We'll discuss a lot of good stuff going on, and that, of course, is Adam Bagney. Adam, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Good to talk to you again. It's been too long.
Yeah, it really has. It's been too long, but college football right around the corner, a lot of good stuff to talk about. And wanted to play you a quick clip because this is a man that you certainly cover a lot, so let's take a listen. I think you know who this guy is.
You know, confidence can screw you up. Confidence can be a good thing, but, you know, what our players need to understand, what our fans need to understand, what everybody needs to understand, it's one game. It's one game. And we need to keep playing better, and we need to improve, and our players need to have the focus to improve. And remember how they got where they got, rather than think that we can just show up now and beat whoever we play. Because we have a tendency to think that way around here, instead of just kicking people's ass like you're supposed to and working to do it. All right, so when you ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Adam, do you ever get scared talking to Coach Nick Saban?
Yeah, how can you not? I'm trembling just listening to him right there. Let me tell you, that is classic Nick Saban right there. But that's what he tries to do. And to the benefit of the media that cover him on a regular basis, a lot of us know what we're getting ourselves into, and a lot of us sort of try to stand up to him. But I got to tell you, for the new guys on the block, for those national reporters or regional reporters that come in and they're not usually in the press conference with Nick Saban, he can be an intimidating guy. So the best thing you can do if you're a sports guy is have your facts straight when you're in a Nick Saban presser. But, yeah, that's classic Nick Saban right there.
I mean, a clip I saw last week that they played over and over on ESPN where he sarcastically and belittled the press, saying, of course the press picked us number one to win the SEC title, and I certainly respect the press, and he went on a tangent.
Oh, and he talked about how I love the press because they give my players so much self-gratification, right? Sort of like a backhanded compliment, you know. It's funny. He comes from the Bill Belichick tree, so he is the same type of deal with the media, standoffish, but that's how he is, and that's what he does to protect his team, to protect his players. It's frustrating when you're covering him, but if you looked at it from the inside, you would say, wow, that's the sort of coach that I would like to have if I was a player or a fan. That he's just constantly trying to protect his program and going to bat for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. I was researching this for the interview. I watched a lot of these videos, and I kind of thought, if I was playing college football, I'd like to play for this guy. This is a guy that would look out for my interests, want the best for me, and is a good leader. So one of those things as a player, happy to have him on your side. If you're in the press, kind of disappointed you got to cover him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At the same, I wouldn't call it disappointing to cover him. I would say that it's a different challenge. Heck, I'd rather talk to Nick Saban than talk to, some guy in the middle program that isn't making much headway at all. Some guy that is terrible in his press conferences. Look, he'll say he might use cliches and he might, rehash things over and over again. But it's not a boring, as you can tell right there, it's not a boring press conference.
Right.
And usually, let me tell you, you asked a good question if he's getting fired up. If he's getting pissed, that's a good thing because sometimes that means you asked a pretty good question and you got in a little deeper than he wants you to. So in order to protect his team, his squad, his program, he's going to fire back, sort of be offensive about it.
Right.
Defensive, rather.
Right, absolutely. So I hear that point. I like the idea of, from a press perspective, standing up to it. And if you're getting them fired up, that means you certainly did your job. Now, you have one of the best jobs probably out there in sports because the last two college champions both came from your neck of the woods. You had Auburn last year, Alabama the year before that, and the two Heisman Trophy winners as well. Going forward this year, who is in the better position to win their second title in a span of 3 years? Auburn would be a repeat, but you know what I'm saying, that situation. Who's in a better situation to win the title in 2011?
Right, well, no doubt, it's definitely Alabama. Auburn, if you think about it, lost arguably the best defensive player and definitely the best offensive player in the country last year in Nick Fairley, the defensive lineman, and Cam Newton, the quarterback. So, I mean, that is just crushing. That's like a team losing Tom Brady and, Warren Sapp in his prime. So that is going to be a huge hit to Auburn. I think Auburn's goal is maybe to win 9 games. I think that would be a successful season for them.
Wow.
Alabama, on the other hand, is, don't get me wrong, Auburn's still going to be a good team. It's still an extremely good recruiting class. They'll be very competitive in the SEC this year, but Alabama has a chance to win it all again. They had a lot of guys returning that were impact players last year. Remember, Alabama had a huge lead on Auburn last year, who obviously went on to win the title undefeated. Alabama had a huge lead on Auburn in that Iron Bowl game last year and just sort of frittered it away there defensively. But they get a lot of players coming back. The big question mark for Alabama is the quarterback. If they don't have a quarterback, they're not going to be extremely successful. A guy by the name of A.J. McCarron is probably the guy you want to look out for this year. I think he's he's been on the squad for a couple of years, pretty good player. But Alabama has a legitimate shot to go for a national title. Auburn, I just think the losses are too great. Alone, I mean, I'm not even talking about the other seniors, but Nick Fairley and Cam Newton alone is too much of a loss for Auburn to compete for a championship this year.
So, Adam, let me ask you this. If Alabama does win the title this year, obviously that's a big if, but if they do win, that's 2 titles in the past 3 years. You had Florida win a couple of titles in a similar stretch. How dominant is the SEC, and why is it so dominant? For the longest period of time, it was like the thinking was Texas, California, those are the places you get the recruits from. Sometimes they stay in those areas. And in this past 5 or 6 years, the SEC has such dominance, clearly the best conference in the nation. So why is that change?
And don't forget, LSU's won recently with Les Miles. Nick Saban won at LSU. Georgia's won with Mark Richt. So I think it's just sort of the SEC. Don't get me wrong, the Pac-12 now, and teams in the middle of the country like Texas and Oklahoma. There's a lot of tradition there. But the SEC has just cemented itself as the conference to be at, and recruits know that, fans know that, and that's where the big-time kids want to go. I mean, you take a look at these top 100 recruiting, the services from ESPN and Scout.com and the various other recruiting services. The top kids are going to the SEC schools. Why? I don't know if I can pinpoint that, but you obviously can't pinpoint it on one thing, but it's obvious that that's the deal. I mean, the Pac-12 just cannot compete with the SEC. The teams like Oregon last year was extremely dominant. Remember how good they were? That offense was firing on all cylinders. It was unbelievable. That's all we could ever talk about. And then what happened in the national championship game? Auburn wasn't even one of the better defensive teams in the SEC, you could argue. There was other teams that were better in the SEC defensively, and Oregon struggled mightily against Auburn's SEC defense. So, it's a tough question to answer as far as why that's become the case. The SEC's become so dominant, but the fact is, it is. And listen, lots of tradition there, so I don't think it's going to be slowing down anytime soon either.
Alarming moment for me when it really stood out how great the SEC was back in the 2006 title game. That game was in Arizona, my backyard. And for the whole season, it was Michigan, Ohio State, who's going to win, who's better. You have Florida come in, and some people thought USC should be there, not even Florida. Florida had one loss in that tough SEC, a lot of close games, and killed Ohio State, absolutely destroyed them. There was some freshman named Tebow or whatever on that ball club, so that's when I really had my eyes open to the dominance of the SEC. Now, Adam, we'd be remiss if we spoke about college football and did not talk about Steve Spurrier, because kind of a weird situation. The quarterback coach apparently urinated downtown. He might be suspended. Spurrier thinks he's coming back. What's going on with the Gamecocks right now?
Well, I think if you're Steve Spurrier, the quarterback coach has to get a mulligan, right? Because the guy's notorious for giving players mulligans.
Right.
But that's who Steve Spurrier is. Look at the quarterback, Steven Garcia.
Right.
He has been in trouble numerous times for intoxication. I don't have the list in front of me, of course, but I know he's been numerous times breaking team rules. A couple times he's had problems with alcohol. And yet he's still a member of the South Carolina Gamecocks. And, Steve Spurrier said at Media Days a few days ago, he said, I'm all about, giving other chances. And it's like if you have a son, you're not going to abandon your son. And he sort of related it, sort of in that jest. But the thing is, too, Steve Spurrier likes to win football games. So I think he likes to be a little more lenient because he knows Steven Garcia gives him a good chance to win.
Right.
As far as the individual situation with the quarterback's coach, I'm not as privy to South Carolina as I am to Alabama and Auburn. But what I can tell you is the guy probably will not get the boot because Steve Spurrier's a lenient fella.
And it's a problem when you have to say the word list of all the things Garcia's done. That's not on the up and up. And, of course, probably the best returning quarterback in the SEC. He had over 3,000 yards last year, and he was a big part of the upset over Bama. the 35-21 victory. So, yeah, I think Garcia will be back, and I think the coaching staff will be certainly full intact. I want to go.
Yeah, and they're in the weaker division in the SEC. So South Carolina will definitely be heard from. That's for sure.
All right, I want to go now to the scandal. Again, this is kind of a scandal-ridden season when you look at Ohio State and now UNC. Apparently that situation down there, the athletic director's stepping down, and only a few years after the whole situation with Reggie Bush being exposed at USC. So is it one of those things where college football kind of has these swings where kind of bad things happen in these bunches and then it's priority is restored and ethics is restored, or are we just going to go downhill with these continual violations of NCAA rules?
I think it's going to be like this, and we talked a little bit about this the last time I was on when we were talking about Reggie Bush and his Heisman, but I think it's something we are going to see yearly. There is going to be, with the immense interest there is now, even in the last, if you just think about it, even in the last 5 years, how much more popular college football's gotten. I think we're going to see more scandals for a couple reasons. I think, number one, there's more pressure than ever on coaches. More people watch the game than ever before. More people are interested. There's more coverage of it. Number two, look at the media now. Everybody, there is so many more, with more folks interested, there's more folks covering the team. You're in an Auburn press conference, and it used to be just the local TV stations and a couple local newspaper writers, and that's it. Not anymore. You're in the Auburn press conference room. You got all those folks that have always been there. Then you have bloggers. Then you have website writers. You have editors for different other online publications. So there's so many more people covering, and everybody knows with that pressure to win, there's got to be a story somewhere out there. Somebody's got to be getting paid. So many people want their hands on these players. So I think you're going to see every year there's going to be some sort of scandal. It's not going to be, I don't think you'll see a big bombshell every year like you've really seen in the past years with, UNC and with Ohio State. Now, keep in mind, Auburn's still under investigation regarding
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton and what went on there. So that still may be something that'll break in the near future. But, yeah, with the pressure that there is to win and the increased media exposure, fan exposure, I think scandal is here to stay, unfortunately, unless the NCAA really sort of steps up its enforcement, and that's yet to be seen.
So certainly sad for the fans that there are scandals, but kind of an advantage for guys like us, Adam, because there's more to talk about, more to write about.
Right? Yeah. When we get on, we don't want to always just talk about X and O's, right? Switch it up here and there.
Right. Add a little soap opera drama to it. It's always good stuff. Adam, one last question here before we let you go. I know it's a general softball question, but I'll ask you anyways. I know you have a bit of a bias. Who is your pick to win the title for the 2011 season?
For softball?
No, for college football. No, I'm just saying it's a softball question because it's kind.
Softball. I was like, softball. That I can't help you with, brother. I think. God, it's so difficult. Every year I try not to pick an SEC team because the teams really do, and I know people that don't like the SEC don't like to hear this, but the teams really do have to bring it every week, and they really do each other. So it's tough to pick an SEC team. That being said, the SEC, like you said, the last couple of years have done it. I think I got to go with Alabama. I think Alabama's going to be there at the end.
Yeah, I feel like that as well, which is strange because they lose the Heisman Trophy winner and Mark Ingram, but something about them, it's hard to pinpoint exactly. I think they're going to rebound from the shocking upset last year, which knocked off number one, and that right now would be my pick. And just it's amazing because the SEC not only is the best conference, but they're all playing against each other, beating the crowd out of each other week to week to week, and then still so many times they end up as champion anyway. So really incredible stuff. And, hey, God bless you because you're pretty lucky to cover both those great schools, Auburn and Alabama.
I've been pretty lucky. And you know what? One more thing. This may be the year that the mid-major pushes through. That's another thing, we've been talking about every year. They're in the top three. That'll be a big storyline this year. Can a TCU, Boise State, Utah go on a run this year? And, if those teams do beat each other up, can one of them end up in the national championship game?
Right. That's a great thing to look out for. And everyone wants it. It'll probably happen at some point. And, hey, why not this year? Very well could be. Adam Badge, thank you so much for being on Louis Live. It was always a pleasure and fun as always.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, be well. That was Adam Bagby. We're going to take a commercial break and wrap things up after this.
Are you having computer issues? You just got to try these guys. Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. All of Jerusalem is talking about them. They're super experienced, efficient, reliable, and honest. Their lead technician has over 20 years experience and holds a BS in computer science from a top American university. Mickey from Macavia says, I won't let anybody touch my computers except for Tiger. So call Tiger Computer Services, 050-708-1599. Believe me, you'll be happy that you did. Ruben from Baca says, I've had many technicians in the past, and these guys are some of the best I've seen. Laptops, desktops, netbooks, Macintoshes, iPods, iPhones. All hardware and software problems, advice, and instruction. The next time you need a very experienced and honest computer technician, call Tiger Computer Services at 050-708-1599. Mention Israel Sports Radio for a 15% discount for all new customers. Are you living in the Tel Aviv area and looking to achieve those fitness goals that seem out of reach? If so, personal trainer Leon Kessler is just one call away. Leon will teach, coach, advise, supervise, and support you so that you are able to accomplish your fitness goals. One call to 050-792-2434 will put your goals in reach. That's 050-792-2434, or click on the Leon Kessler banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and see what Leon can do for you.
Midreshet Devorah, a Dati Leumi post-high school program which educates minds and broadens horizons. Located in Baca, the lovely Jerusalem neighborhood provides an excellent background and setting for a tremendous education. Our students learn, love, and feel the land of Israel and get tools which will last them a lifetime. Generous scholarships are available. Please contact us at midreshetdevorah.org. Call us from Israel at 052-534-6260 or from North America at 718-593-4162. Midreshet Devorah, we're the program you've been waiting for.
DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJ Venom, DJing parties throughout Israel, birthday parties, weddings, club events, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and much more. You pick the type of music and DJ Venom will turn your event into the party of the year. Available Sunday through Thursday. Call 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. That's 052-952-6506 or email djvenom1984@yahoo.com. Book your party today. That's DJ Venom.
All right, we're back here on Louis Live and wrapping some things up. Before I wrap and call this week a close, want to make an announcement here for those of you who are going to watch some baseball being played tomorrow, the European Championships. I will be broadcasting the game at 10:30. I'm going to need directions out there, so if anyone can help me out, I certainly would appreciate it. That would be good stuff. But we thank Mr. Chaim Katz. When the commissioner calls and beckons, it's time to go. So certainly I'm very, very happy and humbled to have that opportunity of doing the game. I have not broadcast a baseball game since I was with Andy Gershman, and that was good stuff at Kraft Family Stadium. So I'm going to have to really look for it because I know it's in Petah Tikva, and I don't know the exact website. So hopefully I'll figure that out pretty soon because I don't want to go out there and get lost. All right, that's going to wrap up here on Louis Live. We had a great show tonight. Big thanks to Jesse James Lehigh, world champion boxer. The WBC featherweight champion of the world was on Louis Live. That was so much fun. Again, it was 27 minutes, but it just could have gone for much longer. Great stuff. Jim Williams, always bringing the information, the inside knowledge here, discussing the business side of sports from the Washington Examiner. We thank Jim for coming on, as he does every Thursday at 11 p.m., and look forward to his next appearance next week. And, of course, Adam Bagney. It's been a while since we caught up with him. Has one of the best jobs in all the sports, folks. He covers Auburn and Alabama and agrees with me that Nick Saban is a very, very scary man. So that's our show for tonight. Next week, we hope to get Shida Roan on and a couple other guests as well. Mark Gordon from the Soccer Show. Then we're going to have Jasmine Marcus and much, much more. So that's it, everybody. It's all right. God bless and good night.
Offering the best of